And here we are, back for the last 9 holes of this MPO Action first round feature card 2024 Baltic Disc Golf Championship presented by Innova Discs. Last stretch and last tournament of the DGPT Europe this summer. Let's enjoy. We had some great action on the first 9 holes and we are back. Me, Maxime, Tanghe and Elias.
Yep, as it is once again for the last time. Maybe third last time this season, considering the 2 rounds that we're still commenting after this. Pretty sad, but it was a great season. But let's focus on this event still. We saw some great play from Rainer's Balodis, 5 under through the front, which is, I think, the more difficult of the 2.
Yeah, exactly. So we are entering the most scoreable part of the course, as you were mentioning earlier. So let's see if anybody is able to heat up. Reiners is in position to match that 11 down we had earlier during the day, and we are starting here on an 88 meters par 3 hole 10.
Definitely one of the signature holes of the course. You have a gate that you have to go through. It is playing as a triple mando. A little bit of margin for error. If you miss the gap, you can still hit the banners and stay safe. If you miss the gap, you're going to this drop zone about 15 meters away. It's really all about just hitting something straight and managing the wind. We had once again a very different wind than the practice rounds on this hole.
You're definitely right, and you just try to go straight, you trust your line, it's only 90 meters. And this is exactly what you're looking for. And he's gonna go 6 down through 10. Great shot.
Made it look very easy. That gap is not very big. I think it's only about 5 meters wide and pretty far away from the tee, as Morten, he has just turned it over right to left wind, so playing an understable disc can be a little bit tricky, as you saw there from Morten.
Yeah, casual mistake on this one, just hitting that wall and rolling back. Should be an easy par, even a long range possibility for bird.
And I love this line from Mauri, going towards the right side with a slight hyzer and perfect control. With that right-left wind, I feel like that's what you really want to play for. You know you're going to have that left finish, so why not as well play for the right side gap?
Yeah, definitely right. Only one player from the drop zone, Morten. Oh, and a good line, good bit to save that bar, catching the bend. Yeah, good cleanup here. And we'll have probably 2 birdies. Mauri, 4 down now. Second on the card.
Very solid still, as I feel like we saw the 11 under, the 10 under on the scorecard, but it's not really a round that is likely to be repeated twice in a row. So I still think if you can shoot in that 8 under range every round, you're gonna be at least in the hunt.
Oh yeah, for sure, like 6, 7, 8 down 3 times in a row on this course is definitely solid, as we are flying over hole 11.
A new hole, very wooded. It's the tightest hole of the course by far, 105 meters, and it's just a very tiny gap on the right side. We're flying through the main gap, so the best shot here is gonna be a flat to finishing shot. You have to kind of push the right side back trees. But yeah, once again, it's just a super tight hole. Even if you miss the gap, a lot of the times the disc can somehow funnel to the basket through some lucky gaps.
Oh, and that's an early kick for Reiners. Not easy to reach the green from where he landed. That's gonna be some scramble game right now. And this was a good looking line. Unfortunately, hitting one of the last guardians on the right side. He's gonna be around 20 meters of the basket. And this is good looking. And going through everything, just outside the circle on that left side. Good shot from Joona.
Very clean, able to match the fairway. I think he did want to push it a bit straighter, as you can see, finishing too far to the left. just like this, Morten getting some more flip up. But once again, the gap is so tight, it's almost hard to see from the tee which gap you're trying to hit. And I'd consider that still to be a good shot from Morten.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And he's going... Oh my. Yeah, great shot considering the spot he landed on. He's going to be able to work and to save the par. And good glidey putt downhill here, able not to go too far. And this is going to be a longer comebacker for Mauri, 6-7 meters.
Joona to go 2 under, very high release. Think he was very much abstracted by the branches there. He hasn't had the hottest of rounds so far, 1 under on a course that really suits his game as Rainer. Just incredible par save from his position.
Yeah, great putt from Reiners to keep his score as down as possible. Oh my. Yeah, Joona is in trouble right now. Not the easiest round for him. And this is also weird from Mauri. Always good to see that he's human on that green. Everybody can miss 7-8 meters, it happens. That's going to be 2 bogeys for the group.
Assuming Morten doesn't get another spit out here. We did see one of those on the front nine, pretty unlucky on his part, but his stroke has been looking just as crisp after that as it did before. So good mental and yeah, pretty tricky hole. Not a lot of birdies to be had on this one as we're moving to another difficult par 3. This one not really offering a bogey risk unless you turn it way over to the right side OB. You have this one huge bushy tree in the middle of the fairway which you have to choose either the left side of with a slight turnover with either a fairway driver thrown very hard or even a distance driver. Or if you have a massive arm you can go for a big hyzer. I think the left side gap is gonna be better for reaching the basket though.
The wind was pushing to the right side also, so I'm pretty sure the left side was definitely the option. And this is a good looking shot. Slightly short, right side, just outside the circle, but uphill. Good spot to land. Oh, this needs to fade.
Yeah, great looking release from Morten, just a bit too much turn. I think it's pretty tricky as you're going for such a long distance with that slightly understable fairway driver, distance driver, definitely for the first 2 players. And especially with that headwind. And Mauri there, trusting the hyzer release, still getting a bit too much turn. But that's a good result on this hole. Really anything on the short side of circle 2 is going to be great.
Yeah, great confidence shown by this hyzer release. And Joona releasing early, man, in that big tree. Only thing you need to miss on this hole. That's very strange what we are witnessing right now. Joona is really struggling even on that back 9. Oh, and a good line again from Morten. Unfortunately not able to hit the chains.
And a good run, but that's gonna be back-to-back bogeys on the back 9, which, as we said, very scoreable.
Yeah, good run. Good pace. Slightly right side. Good height. And casual putt outside the circle for Mauri. Good bounce after the mistake on hole 11. And 4 down again. Tied 21st at the moment.
That's only one of 13 birdies today. And only 6 players getting in the circle of the tee, which I find pretty low on this hole. Of course, there are some players that don't put the stats on PDJ Live, but still only out of the 65 players that did mark the stats, only 6 of them got into circle 1 here.
Yeah, not a high percentage for sure. Moving on to hole 13, island hole.
A very polarizing hole. There are very few pars on this hole. Mostly birdies and bogeys or above. Less than a third of the field getting a par here, which is very uncommon for such a short hole. As we have some OB both on the left and right, opening up at the circle. You have a bit more space than the edge of the circle 1 there. Couple of different routes here. You can go for a high spike hyzer, but most players really going for just a dead straight shot. Mauri doing that with forehand because he has great control over the forehand.
He's going to slide slightly. Good shot. What do you think about the spike hyzer line on the right?
I think if somebody has a lot of power, enough to go for a true spike, I think it can be good. But it's easy to, if you don't have that same power as, for example, Joona has, it's easy to hit some trees on that right side. You need to really push it very high. So I'm not surprised to see everybody else going for the straight shot here.
And this is a lucky break. He went through that right side. Could be stopped all day. And this is the big arms line. Is this inbound? No big graphics?
I assume. I think he faded a bit too far to the left, which is easy to do with the hyzer. And yeah, safe, but not a great spot to putt from.
Man, he is... Yeah, not confident on that green today, unfortunately. Still +1. Not able to hit any chains on this putt.
And you played the practice round with Joona. How was his stroke looking then? Was it looking more confident?
It's perfect. He looked perfect. I think he shot 11 down on that practice. We were just taking the best shots from the tee pad, from the tee pad, but yeah. Either way, he was playing very nice. Not what we are witnessing today. But, you know, there are good days and bad. Just need to go through it, and there is still 6 holes to go, 5 after this one. And as you were mentioning, hole 18, you can eagle it. There is a few scoreable holes coming, so hopefully he will be able to make something happen to lower the score. Reiners for the bogey. Almost saved the par from the drop zone.
Yeah, he's kind of going back and forth with that 5 under right now from hole 8 and onward, but still plenty of holes to get further under par. One of them definitely being the next one here, hole number 14. Even though the distance looks pretty scary for a par 3, 132 meters, we are going slightly downhill and there was a tailwind. So the biggest chance for the birdie here is gonna be just the biggest hyzer you can throw. Take an overstable distance driver, put it way out there to the right, pretty high, and hopefully find your way near the inner ring of these stones. The outer ring is gonna be on the edge of the circle, the inner ring is gonna be about 3.5 meters. So anywhere inside of the outer ring of stones is gonna be in the circle.
Yeah, classic hole. Nothing too crazy. There is some OBs, but hyzer line all the way with a distance driver. I think with the tailwind you could take a lower speed disc, a 9 or 10 speed, and a more flat line. But the casual way will remain the same. Good shot from Morten and Mauri. Inside the circle both.
This hole is playing, I can't say surprisingly low, but for this distance, as I mentioned, it's playing pretty easy. 2.74 average, very low, and shots like that from Joona are what makes this average so low. Just the basic hyzer, and he's gonna be on the edge of the bullseye.
Yep, good shot from the first 3, and it looks great also. Everybody's gonna putt for a bird. Bryners and Joona very close from the basket. Great putt. And another birdie. 4 down now for Morten. Entering the last 4-hole stretch. It's pretty decent. Good one from Mauri also. 6 down now. Taking the lead in this feature card.
It's looking very good for him as Reiners. That's by far the biggest mistake we have seen from him.
Oh my. It
And
hurts.
a lot of wind. That's not the wind's fault though, as I think what happened there was he felt the wind and just felt uncomfortable with the wind. Not that he needed to putt any different, but the wind can very easily get inside of your
No,
head.
I see what you mean, and he was explaining it yesterday night. So yeah, just the wind entering your mind. Unfortunately, that crosswind from right to left is to me the scariest you can have on a putt. And we are moving on to hole 15, not the easiest of par 4s.
Definitely not. This is actually the most difficult out of the remaining holes we have. It's a big hyzer off the tee, but the thing is, with the gap on the right side of the tee pad, you can't really go for a lot of distance, especially with the slight headwind, right to left headwind we had today. So your hyzer is gonna leave you with at least 100 meters approach to this green that is pretty tricky. You have a slope on the right side and OB on the left, and with the hyzer approach you can easily skip to a death putt on that left side of the basket.
This is good looking. He's center fairway, and as you were mentioning, around 100 meters from the pin. The wind was scary again on this one, slightly cross, I'd say, from right to left. Not easy to handle on the second shot. And this choice, I don't understand. Joona has so much distance. This right side gap is so easy.
And even Reiners, he throws a great shot here. But I just feel like the right side hyzer gap is so easy and it always puts you in a birdie position.
Yeah.
And from here it's just playing to the sweet spot. Same spot as you tried to go off the tee, but just with your second shot. And now you have a stressful approach for the par.
And as you can see, the difference between Mauri's card and the rest of the group, very green, one mistake, and pushing the score on that back 9, with a scary putt coming for him. Death behind the basket, just outside the circle. And this is a better looking line. Oh,
Stay in bounds. And just OB. No. That's what happens so easily when you're scared of that slope. You really have to push the slope. And it's so scary because your disc can easily roll down the hill if you hit the right side of the slope.
Great control, great touch on this one. Stand still. Should be a par save for him.
I guess the advantage of going inside of the tee is this, that Reiners is able to go with a slow disc, but even the slow disc can roll down if you hit the right side of the slope compared to the flat. And I'd call that slightly unfortunate, but I think that just very easily happens if you're too far right.
Yeah, and this putt was very scary again. This crosswind almost had. Oh, hopefully stayed there. And this is a great save. Good par. Still 5 down. Unfortunate knowing again that the back nine is supposed to be easier. Could have pushed better after a good opening also on hole 10.
Yeah, no birdies on the card. Kind of surprising with this hole. It's two very basic shots. Of course, the approach can get a little bit dicey with the rolls.
And we are moving on to the last stretch of this course. Hole 16, another par 5, 260 meters.
A change with the tee pad position from last year. Now you can go straight into the woods on the first shot. Most players are taking a slightly understable distance driver. Just try to hit it towards this gap. Hopefully get their way up the hill somewhere around here. But if they make a mistake, rather turn it over to the right than fade out left. And really wherever you are on this fairway or off the fairway, on the second shot it's just all about getting some more distance.
Yeah, you're right, but Mauri is going to be playing safe. You know, well, I don't know what's your game plan on this one, but to me, getting aggressive is not really dangerous. What can happen is this, for example, just overturn it a little, but you are far and able to find some gaps from there.
Yeah, I think from where Mauri is compared to where Joona is, even though Joona is technically off the fairway, I think he can easily get into the same position as where Mauri can get to from his safe drive. And this one is challenging. Maybe the OB on the left side. There is some OB on the left, but Rainer's not finding it, luckily. It's kind of tricky to see sometimes where the OB left is. And Morten Brenna also going safe. Pretty surprising to see two players with such conservative game plans on a hole that, as you said, doesn't really offer that much danger off the tee.
But we were talking about that confidence Mauri is showing, and this is exactly what I was mentioning. He's just going short of the tee pad and then able to smash the second, and he's going to be in position to attack that green for birdie. Great game plan, stick to it, not being impacted by the others, trying to get aggressive even better from Morten, more centered. Both players with great second shots. Going forward on that fairway, Joona now. And that's exactly what and where I was wrong about what I was saying about Joona's drive. You can try to be aggressive on that drive, but he's not nicely spotted on that first tee shot, and he's now in struggle.
Looks like Joona did try to go for a lot of distance on the second, which I'm pretty surprised. He could have, with such a long drive, even though it was off the fairway, he could have just played mid-range to a similar position as where Mauri is here. And Mauri, this is a very touchy approach. You need to control the speed, and unfortunately for him, doesn't really do it. It's a tiny green. The only way to be safe here is to be a little bit short and a little bit left. That's the cleanest putt you can have on this hole.
This is a good approach. It's gonna be a scary putt though. 9-10 meters with the void behind the basket. 7 for Morten. Only difference is Morten is going to put forward. And in the end, slowly but surely, Heinänen is putting for birdie from 3 meters.
Yeah, we kind of missed it, but his second shot was pretty incredible, able to get within jump putt distance on this hole. I think this hole is very much eagleable if you go for the aggressive drive, but it just takes a couple of really good shots. And talking about really good, there's finally a really good putt from Joona again.
And Morten now with an important moment. Oh my. Yeah, and he's gonna be far down that hill. Now trying to save the par from long range. And yeah, take your pill. He's gonna take a bogey there, 2 in a row, unfortunately for the Norwegian player. And Heinänen back to 6 down.
Good birdie and a tough bogey to swallow from Morten, I'd say, as 81% of the field is taking either par or birdie on this hole. Not that many bogeys. I think it's just pretty short for being a par 5, and even if you're a little bit off the fairway, you can often scramble for the par.
That's why being aggressive on the first tee, on the first shot, is to me pretty okay for a game plan. If you miss it, not going OB left, you can just again take your pill, place yourself and attack for a par. We are now on hole 17.
Hole 17, there is this straight shot that the drone is flying through, but the more common play is gonna be a forehand hyzer around the outside to the left. There is some OB both right and left side, so especially with the forehand hyzer, you can pretty easily leave it too far left. You do have to put it pretty high, but I'm interested to see what these players do. Heinänen, of course, with a strong forehand, trying to go for that hyzer.
This run-up looks so slow, but he's around. C1 hit for Heinänen to go 7 down. And another forehand master. This is shorter, not the best reaction, but yeah, around 12 meters for the birdie. And this is the other option, straight. You need to forget about those trees, look at the basket, and trust your line. This is the main thing on that shot, and this is a great shot for Joona inside the circle also.
Morten eyeing down the same gap as well. Very comfortable with those flip-up mid-ranges. And even a better line here.
Check that.
Challenging the basket. Look at that.
What a line. Catching that flag over the basket. Great. And a meter below when it was inside the chains. Great control of that rock, I'm pretty sure. And again, unfortunately not able to capitalize on this birdie opportunity. And this is staying in. And eventually able to take a birdie very late in the round. Back to even.
Heinänen, another good putt. Feel like his putting stroke has been so solid from that 10-meter range. He's made 6-7 putts from that range already.
Yeah, very comfortable. And almost all of them dead center. Nothing to worry about. Good pace, good speed. And we are moving on to the last hole of this round.
Last hole, 18. Par 4, but a lot of the players are playing it as a difficult par 3. 188 meters really doesn't do justice of how reachable this hole is. It's probably playing closer to 145 or 150. And I'd say all of our players have the distance to get there. Of course, the shorter throwing players have to go with a flex if they want to reach it. The harder throwing players can just go for a flat to hyzer shot. But even if you don't go for the basket, the safe shot is to throw it 30 short, jump putt to the basket, get your easy birdie. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody was within jump putt distance here.
And he's pushing it flat. Yeah, short, left. Should be an easy birdie to finish the round with. Oh yeah.
He looks disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit early out of the hand, but still
Oh, great reaction of that tree. And inside the circle, 8 meters for eagle.
And that was a great shot, but I do have to pose the question. He did throw a shot that he thought was bad. Maybe not a real par 4. As Morten, that's really the mistake on this hole. That's the worst mistake you can do, throw something too understable, and he's gonna have to go to a drop zone that is still a pretty tricky approach, with the OB being close to the basket. As Mauri as well. Surprisingly short there. I'm shocked by 2 out of 4 players going to the drop zone here.
Yeah, to me the main mistake was made by Morten with that turn. You need to avoid it. That's the only thing you need. If you have the distance, trying to push that stable disc flat and then fade at the end, slightly wide. If you turn, you are in danger to go too far. And the opposite mistake from Mauri, too short, but good approaches from both of them from the drop zone. Mauri with a scary straight shot from that drop, showing the confidence again.
Reiner's kind of running it for the eagle, but not really. And how close is Joona? Mauri still going first. Good par save. A disappointing par, definitely on a hole that is the easiest hole on the course. Eagled 6 times today. And let's see if Joona can be one of them.
Yes, sir. Good one. And to go 2 down in the end, not the best round of his life, but good finish. Important to be below par. And a good putt to finish the round also for Reiners. 8 down, very solid. Just outside of the lead card tomorrow, but great in the end, chasing. And 4 pars to finish for Mauri. Not the best finish for him, but 6 down is solid to start of the tournament. We'll have only Finnish players on our lead card tomorrow. And yeah, it's a pretty stacked field. We have lots of 7 and 6 down, so a lot can happen. 11 down from our dear Estonian friend. So yeah, great action.
Yeah, great action. I think we're gonna see a bit of a different weather for round 2, it seems, as we're recording this in the morning of round 2. Might have some little bit of rain, possibly making the scoring in round 2 a bit more tricky, but hope to catch you guys there for some more MPO action.
And not only Finnish, because Matias Villota is from Estonia, sorry for that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.